Hello and welcome to your October labor market update for Northeast Minnesota. My name is Carson Gorecki and I am the Department of Employment and Economic Development's Regional Labor Market Analyst for Northeast Minnesota. Northeast Minnesota consists of Aiken, Carlton, Cook, Itasca, Koochiching, Lake, and St. Louis counties, as well as Economic Development Region 3, Workforce Service Areas 3 and 4, and most of the Duluth Superior Metropolitan Statistical Area. Over the next couple minutes, I will cover the latest updates on the labor market indicators in the region, including unemployment, employment, wages, and labor force participation. So let's get to it. The Labor Market Information Office of the Department of Employment and Economic Development, aka DEED, produces and provides a host of high-quality labor market data and tools. LMI can be a resource for all Minnesotans as they work to make well-informed decisions. Beginning with some statewide trends, Minnesota added nearly 15,000 jobs from August into September, an increase of 0.5%. While employment grew marginally over the month, Minnesota employment remained down nearly 7%, or just over 200,000 payroll jobs from September 2019. The statewide unemployment rate dropped to 6% in September, down from 7.4% in August, and a peak of 9.9% in May. Likewise, the number of unemployed workers decreased to 180,000 from a peak of more than 300,000. As this chart of year-over-year percent employment change indicates, the current COVID economic crisis in Minnesota is like none other in recent memory. The initial decline in employment was far more acute than during previous recessions, and the subsequent recovery appears to be losing momentum as we enter fall. The 6.8% year-over-year employment loss we saw in September is still greater than the worst month of the Great Recession. In the Northeast region, the unemployment rate continues to fall as well. The September rate of 5.8 is down 2 points from August and nearly 6 points lower than the peak of unemployment in May. The number of unemployed correspondingly has fallen to 9,000 from a high of more than 18,000. While the unemployment rate has fallen in Northeast Minnesota, it remains the second highest of all planning regions in the state, behind only the Twin Cities Metro, and is home to some of the highest rates by county in Greater Minnesota. At the same time, employment has decreased throughout the region as well, falling nearly 9,000 since before the pandemic began, representing a decrease of 8.4% from 2019. You put these two components together, falling unemployment and declining employment, and the result is a shrinking labor force. At just over 156,000, Northeast Minnesota's population of working people, or people looking for work, is the smallest it has been since 1996, and is almost a 5% decline from February of this year. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics indicate that 860,000 of the 1.1 million people that left the labor force nationally in September were women. The jobs more likely to be held by women, such as healthcare and service industry occupations, were hit the hardest by the pandemic, but also mothers are increasingly deciding to stay home to take care of children and other family members. Unemployment claims are another useful indicator of trends in the labor market. Initial claims are good at showing the early impacts on workers in the region and peaked as high as 19,000 in April, representing more than 12.2% of the labor force. Initial claims in September were still almost triple the previous September's numbers. Continued unemployment claims are a better indicator of longer-term unemployment, and while they have declined since April, they also remain elevated, almost 7 times larger than last September. DEED's profile of risk for prolonged unemployment provides further detail to who has been most impacted by the pandemic. In Minnesota, workers earning lower wages were both more likely to be on unemployment longer and more likely to still be filing claims. Further, women and people of color have been filing for unemployment at disproportionate rates and are more likely to be permanently separated. Black or African Americans are almost more than twice as likely to have filed for unemployment, and almost half of African Americans that have filed claims are still filing into October. Younger workers were more likely to have filed claims, but older workers are more likely to be filing recently and be permanently laid off. In terms of education, those workers with a high school degree or below filed claims at disproportionate rates as well. Workers with disabilities were more likely to be permanently separated and filing into October. Northeast Minnesota, along with the Twin Cities Metro, saw larger shares of unemployment claims relative to their labor forces. By industry, the largest shares of claims were made by workers in the accommodation and food service, construction, retail trade, and manufacturing industries. These industries combined represented nearly half of all claims in Northeast Minnesota. Workers in accommodation, food services, other services, government, and social assistance all averaged at least 15 weeks of unemployment, and nursing and residential care facilities, finance and insurance, and administrative services claimants were most likely to still be filing. Finance and insurance, along with government and nursing and residential care facilities, also had the highest share of permanently separated claimants, indicating that those jobs are less likely to return. Indeed recently released detailed wage and employment data for the second quarter of 2020 as part of our quarterly census of employment and wages program. These data show that the number of jobs in the Northeast region fell 15% from the second quarter of last year, a decrease of over 22,000 jobs. This is the largest percent decline of the 6 planning regions and likely attributable to the area's industry mix, which has higher concentrations in healthcare, leisure and hospitality, and mining, all industries that lost jobs disproportionately. Other services, administrative support, real estate, information, and construction industries also experienced greater than average employment losses, which were also greater than their statewide counterparts. Somewhat interestingly, the number of firms did not decrease by nearly the same magnitude as employment. In fact, the total number of firms actually increased by less than 1% over the year. Job vacancy data for quarter 2 was also recently released, providing an additional look at labor demand in the region. Overall, job vacancies are down 19% from the second quarter 2019. However, the trend of decline was not shared across all industries. Indeed, construction, professional, scientific, and technical services, and even retail saw increases in their vacancies. Conversely, the largest declines were in administrative services, arts, entertainment, and recreation, and accommodation and food services, which all fell about by half. The median wage offer, on the other hand, increased for almost every industry and in total by an average of nearly 10% to $14.38 per hour. The past 7 months have been difficult for the Northeast Minnesota economy, to say the least. A shrinking labor force means that even with higher unemployment, employers will still likely face challenges filling open positions. On the other hand, workers are facing difficult decisions that can place their family's economic security and physical health at odds. We at DEED will continue to monitor the labor market closely and provide timely and accurate information to all Minnesotans. Please feel free to contact me with any questions. And until next time, thank you.